You're watching the 2023 SCAC Fall Media Days, and today we're taking a dive into the University of Dallas men's and women's cross country program. Crusaders will be led as they head into the season of the guidance of head coach Nick Schneigert, along with first years Giselle Avalos and Thomas Skendzel. Coach, Thomas, Giselle, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Russell.
Coach, we'll get started with you. We're less than essentially 48 hours from this 2023 season getting kicked off and underway. What have you seen from your groups here as the preseason portion of the year has unfolded? These teams have started to get excited, get ready for the start of a year. What gives you confidence with this group, and how has this season, the preseason part, unfolded for your team?
I think, well, first off, one of the biggest differences from this group compared to my prior groups is that I have a lot of true recruits on the team now. In the past with COVID and, my wife being pregnant, it was really hard for me to do a lot of late recruiting phone calls and stuff like that. And then after the NCAA national championships with Anna, I know how hard it is to recruit kids to come here to the University of Dallas because of the very strict academics we have here, and and just other factors. And so I started really recruiting hard in 2021, and that's where I found someone like Giselle. I found her in the fall of 2021, fall of 2022, actually, just really, really early in the season. And, early on, before most schools start recruiting the class of 2023. I think getting an amount of true recruits coming here makes a huge difference, and they're locked and loaded, and they really want to, they have a deep background in cross country and track, both of them here have done 4 years of cross country and track, in their respective high schools. And, so I think they're already prepared. They come here, I think in years prior, we always had those kids we found off the streets and stuff like that, especially before I came here. But now we're starting to get these kids coming in here, trickling in with a lot of experience, a lot of background. And obviously, because we are a classical education university, the only classical university in the state of Texas, where the academics are very rigorous. Like it meant, a lot of people call us the Catholic Ivy League school of the South. So I it's just now knowing the ins and outs and how to get you the academics here, and then also that, but try to work around the practice schedules and everything. And honestly, this is going to be my most talented team. I know I had Anna in the past, but I got a lot of these athletes I have in the team have a lot more depth. So I got a lot of sub 21, sub 20 5K runners from high school. So I do think that we're going to be a little bit more competitive than we were last year. Actually, a lot more competitive than we were last year heading into the season. And today their transition's been very good. They've been, I've done a lot. They're not used to the type of workouts I do. Like today we did BYU fartleks. So it was more of an introductory thing the last 2 weeks. They're catching on really quick. I mean, they come to practice every day. They came to both of my 2 days that we had before the academic calendar started. So everything's looking smooth. Everything's looking great. And looks like we're going to be locked and loaded going into Eternal this Saturday, and this is going to be a small meet, and we like that. We want to have a small meet. It's going to be a 3-miler for both men and women, and it's going to be, that's another thing. I got, mostly freshmen on the team, and this is going to be a good transition for them.
Thomas, you can hear the excitement in Coach's voice as you get prepared to make your collegiate debut. As I mentioned, basically 48 hours away before you're towing the line for your first collegiate meet. Take me through your mindset. What are you excited about, and are you nervous heading into your collegiate debut this weekend?
Sure. Well, there's definitely some nerves, but that's been the same with any other race in high school. I really am honored to run at the collegiate level now. It's been a long, grueling process in high school, so I'm excited to put it on the field this coming Saturday at the collegiate level.
Giselle, Coach talks about his excitement for bringing in his recruits and the work that he's done to put together these recruiting classes. For you, coming into your first year and going through the traditional transitions that are natural from high school to college and getting prepared for your first season, you come in with 4 other first years and you make up this class How much easier is it to kind of go through that transition when you have a group of classmates, when you have a big recruiting class coming into this? Is that something that you and the rest of your first years have embraced as you've gone through this preseason portion of the year to get ready for the season?
It's definitely helpful that there's a big class of freshmen joining the team because we're all basically going through it together and learning everything together. So it's pretty helpful to have other people who are on the same level as you, who have some experience get transitioning into the collegiate level, and it's very, 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 very helpful.
Coach, you've talked a little bit about some of the adjustments that will go on here as we get the season started. But for this, opening recruiting class, for those that are new into your program, what are some of the things early on in the season you're really looking from this group as they make this adjustment? What are some of your messages to these first years and to people that are joining the team for the first time that you're really trying to get them to understand about your program specifically that will help, kind of build them as runners heading in through the rest of the season?
I think the first thing I like to mention regarding that question is, Thomas, he's from Michigan. So he's definitely not used to this heat. So it was hard for him the first week. I think it was hard for him to practice in the heat, where up in Michigan, where it's cross country heaven up there. I mean, they're running in 60-degree weather at this time, and here, I mean, we're 110, and so for him, it was hard for him, but he actually has done a really good job transitioning into a weather, and I was going to have a mile trial this past Saturday, and I told him, it was a long week. Let's just go ahead and take the weekend off, so they could settle in and everything. And, he absolutely did. And he's been skyrocketing at the workouts this week. And then, so, I think another thing I've done, and something where I really trying to alleviate, again, the heavy academic workload. We're not like, we don't have English 101 here. We have literary traditions. We're the only college in the United States where you're required to read all 3 books of Dante. So, your freshman year, and it's a lot. It's a workload and a half, So I've done a lot of things where I'm able to alleviate all the academic stress. For example, we try to avoid Friday. We try to do Saturday only meets, that was for cross country, for track. I do 5 p.m. makeup workouts. Yes, I mean, he was behind his reading. He was like, I don't know, what are you reading? Milton, Dante, Iliad. There you go, Iliad. So, and he's up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, so he couldn't come to 6 a.m. workout. So, what I did last year, what I implemented was 5 p.m. makeup workouts, and this is awesome because the last 2 weeks, I didn't have one person miss a full day of practice, so if they don't come to 6 a.m., they come at 5 p.m. So, I'm trying to make it easier for them it's all about the academics really more than anything else. And then, athletic wise, they've been doing a great job just transitioning into my workouts. They ask a lot of questions. Of course, I like to talk a lot. So we get along with each other very well. We have a lot of fun too. And that's the number one thing I try. I know that they have such a heavy academic workload here. Hence this reason why we're in 2022 with the highest team GPA in the state of Texas amongst all my women's team, amongst all Division I, Division II, Division III, and NAIA teams. They had a 3.81 team GPA. And, and my men's team, a 3.63 team GPA, highest team GPA in the state of Texas amongst D1, D2, D3, and NAIA teams. And so, and they're not taking basket weaving majors. They're not taking wine tasting courses. They're taking legitimate majors, and legitimate courses, So, I try to have fun with them. I try to, break the ice because when they come in the morning, they're all groggy. They're like, oh, I gotta be here, man. I gotta read Dante. And I'm like, listen, man, let's have some fun, man. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. I try to put that in their minds. I try not to burn them out. I try to explain all about the workouts. We do a great job with all the workouts, and I think this is probably the best 2 weeks I've had since coming here in 2019 with everything that goes on here.
Thomas, as you look to take this leap from the high school level to your first year at the collegiate level, what are some of the transitions, the biggest adjustments that you think you're going to have to make? Not necessarily off of the cross country course, because certainly that's a big jump just in your life as well. But from just a runner's perspective, what do you anticipate being big transitions, and how will you kind of challenge those adjustments, those transitions going into the year?
Sure. Well, I think the whole training plan is going to be much different from high school to now the collegiate level here at the University of Dallas. As I used to just run 5Ks, and now we'll be running 8Ks and on. So I think there's definitely a transition in distance that'll make for a transition in workouts. So that'll be very interesting to see.
And Giselle, for you, as you look ahead to this season, and you've kind of taken some inventory about some of the goals that you would like to accomplish, not only individually, but from a team perspective as well, what do those goals look like, and what will be key in trying to challenge and accomplish those goals heading into this year?
Well, in high school, I've never ran a 5K. I've never raced in a 5K. I've only ever done the 2-mile races in track and in cross country. So being here at the collegiate level and having to run a 5K is going to be really interesting to see. I'm hoping to break a 20-minute 5K. I'm hoping to have big goals as a team as well.
And finally, Coach, wrapping things up with you, as you look ahead to this year and you ramp up your excitement level for both of these programs, these seasons are successful if what plays out for your two groups. What are you looking for from these two teams that will, consider these two seasons successful heading into the year?
Athlete development, obviously we're not going to be competitive with Trinity and, Colorado College. They have two phenomenal programs, for me, I have to remember, I think I'm the only coach in the conference that's not, I'm both the head cross country and head track and field coach. I think Senior is the only one. So I do have a heavy workload myself. But trying to make sure that my freshman athletes develop, and they are developing, and also making sure that their academic workload doesn't get in the way. And I've been doing a lot of things, so retention is going to be a big thing. Trying to make sure they last all 4 years here at the University of Dallas on a cross country and track program. And I think track and field is also going to be a big one. I don't know if you realize, Russell, or not, but my first year here, I remember cross country, I had like 10, 15 kids, and only had 2 kids, the 2 distance kids that did track. And I asked them one reason was because, I asked them one-on-one, why don't you do track? And they said, well, the academic workload, man, I got to read Dante, I got to do this, like, holy cow. And then, of course, I had a couple knuckleheads that said they don't like running around in circles on the track. And that's okay. I get it. But now, if you notice, we're getting more distance kids doing track. And, within the last couple of years, with Nico Waltz and James Latour, they're my 10K, 5K specialists, on the track side of things. And it's all about development. It's all about development, trying to get the volunteer coaches at home. I got a graduate assistant with Caleb Clayton. He's been doing a phenomenal job. So I do think that, we're gonna, 2 things in my book, 3 things that I have like goal for this year. Number 1, athlete development. Number 2, retention. Making sure that actually they'll stay on, try to stay on, do good academically, so they could do all 4 years of cross country and track. And then number 3, make sure they do track and field. It's vital. You have to do track and field. If they're going to be successful in cross country, they have to do track and field. So I think those are the 3 things. I think we will go up to standings a little bit, but that's not really my concern for this year for cross country. I think, my 1 through 3s and my 1 through 4s on both the women and men's side are, very talented, drops off a bit after that. But really, I'm looking for them to have a lot of fun and develop, and let's see what happens the next 4 years. It's going to be very exciting, especially with these 2 people on board.
University of Dallas men's and women's cross country programs. Again, the Crusaders will head into the year under the guidance of head coach Nick Schneigert, along with the leadership from first years Giselle Avalos and Thomas Skendzel. Coach, Thomas, Giselle, best of luck as you head into the season and you get things kicked off here Saturday, September 2nd, the Nicole Lehman Invite down at Laterno. Thanks so much and good luck.
Hey, God bless, and thank you, Russell.